Yeah, Fire Rod is really a nice thing to start off with too. Makes a really quick escape. As long as you pick up magic along the way.
I am not really your uncle. I am your real father.
So we're just syncing up the streams here, so...
So sadly nothing interesting in that first chest, but...
Yeah, just 20 rupees, but they're gonna need 100 rupees by the time they get to Kakariko, so...
The goal for me is usually to get 50 rupees before leaving Escape, if you're looking at it optimally, because you can get 30 rupees, so long as you've got bombs as well, you can get 30 rupees from the Blinds hut, and you can get about 20 rupees out of the Kakariko well. So if you have at least 50, then you can definitely get all of the stuff you need, as the 20 rupee drop immediately kind of does lend to that. Sadly, foosda didn't get it yet, but with the way that the randomized item stuff works in just the prize packs in general, he will get it from a guard pretty soon. So long as he actually gets a drop in the first place, that would kind of help.
Yeah. So with Escape, pretty much everything will be very similar on both screens. They'll both be going and doing the same routing. The only difference is whether or not they'll decide to kill any extra enemies in here before going into sewers, because they're going to be hoping for bombs from some of these enemies here. So we might see them opt to kill a few things on the way, but most people just decide to just farm in the sewers instead.
Yeah. I think with it being a 50% chance of getting item drops from the enemies, then usually I would kill... I would have killed the ones to the left of the main hallway, and not normally the blue guards. The blue guards kind of just take forever. But, yeah, I would kill a couple extra, but nothing too massive here, and that's an interesting strat from Andy there. I was kind of expecting he'd use the boomerang like he would in No Major Glitches, but that's a really nice way of doing that. Because yeah, it is always an interesting thought when you get an item that you would have in the standard route. Do you actually go ahead and do your normal plays, or do you do that stuff that you've learned to do in Randomizer because you don't normally have that item?
Exactly.
It's just gotta be careful!
It looks like we found our first fetch quest item, Andy picking up the mushroom here, so hopefully that leads to something good.
The prophecy of the seed key is coming true. Sort of. It's a bit out of order, but it's still there.
So Zelda having some drugs in her cell, I see.
Yeah, she has some questions to answer, lady.
So, I don't know. She's not the princess that everyone thinks she is, apparently.
Yeah, supposedly so. This is just when you get that question of how do you think my clothes got this white?
So yeah, we'll see now. We'll start to see now if.
Sorry, just reading through some of the chat there. It says it's not her fault. There's this fungus growing in the dungeon.
So it looks like both of them opting to. Well, Andy killed one guard. Foosda.
Yeah,
Foosda hoping for a couple more.
Yeah, he hadn't exactly been getting the best of luck on drops, Foosda. So that was the red rupee that Andy got in basically the first two enemies of the game. Foosda really hasn't had much luck that way. So it kind of explains why he was killing more stuff there, because he hadn't seen anything yet. Whilst there's no way to really know whilst you're in the game what random drops you're going to get, you do know, well, I mean, you can know that if you haven't picked anything up yet, then and the opponent has, then you know they're going to have what you'll get next. So if it happens to be bombs that you get in the first couple of item pulls, fairly safe to assume that your opponent will have them as well. No such luck here though, just a bunch of magic and that's about it. no fire rod to use it with.
Exactly.
Sorry, I may like the fire rod a little bit too much.
The fire rod is a good item, though. It's
I
handy
did get
for
the
a
run
few-
around from the rat there. Interesting that he didn't kill any of the other ones in the room there. Going to focus his efforts on the ones in here. Can the fairy, but not a bomb drop at all. Nope, just arrows. So going to have to remember to come back to escape here.
Yeah, the worst is when you get into this room here that Andy's in, and then a bomb drops.
Because you can't go back.
Exactly. So
I think I remember the first time that I had the mirror in one of these seeds when I got to Zelda, so I could actually mirror back and save like a minute for that. I didn't get bombs in escape until the chest that Andy just opened up there. And I believe I actually mirrored back to go and get the stuff because it was that sort of time I'm thinking, no, there has to be something here because of the way the old logic worked. That those items are, even if you get bombs in a chest, those items are gated by the power glove as far as the logic goes. So with the old logic here, it was biased towards putting stuff behind like progression items and whatnot. So I was like, no, there's got to be something here. I'm going back for it, and it took ages, but you know.
yeah,
So-
there looks like Andy is going to be heading to check the lumberjack cave, so we'll get to see. Ooh, that's the mirror.
Then.
We are definitely going to see some Aga one.
So Andy, I don't think took any hits during escape whatsoever because he got the red tier of items there, which was the full magic containers. Foosda got the blue tier, which happens to be bombs. That's a pretty big difference here. Because Andy's not going to get the blue tier here, he's going to get the green tier tree again. That might not have bombs. Also, just a preemptive rip to anybody who plays these with no save and quits, you cannot actually complete this seed now. Because you can't get the mirror without getting to Dark World through Aga, therefore, save and quit is dead. You know? I know some people actually do play these with no save and quits in mind, so... Fortunately, they cannot complete every seed. And the green tier just having green rupees there. So, yeah, Andy doesn't have bombs, whereas Foosda does. It's not actually going to make that big of a difference looking at how much money Andy has. He has the 120 here, so he'll be able to get 50 rupees, you know, spend 50 rupees getting bombs. Then he will still get to the 100 because of how much is in Blind's place. So it isn't going to functionally make any difference, but that knowledge is really good to have if you do need extra bombs later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing to note is that mirror might actually not be even required either, because although it's a handy item to have, it is not always necessary. The only dungeon that it's really needed for is Swamp, and if Swamp is a pendant dungeon, it might not be necessary. It depends also on where some of the items are in the overworld, though, because if it's behind something, of course you need the mirror for. Then, of course,
mysterious wall chicken gets. And it's still rip save and quit though, because there's a lot of dungeons like Ice Palace, like Misery Maya, that you actually need to save and quit out of if you don't have the mirror at the time. So it's still rip save and quit, but you're right that they might not actually need to do Aga here. Looks like Foosda got a nice flashy shield out of that as well. I mean, Andy's reading had to be a little bit different because and the red mail too.
Yeah, red mail.
Yeah, Andy's reading had to be slightly different because of not having bombs immediately, whereas Foosda could just do the standard route here, so he'll be slightly quicker overall through the... Of course, every time you take the chance that bombs are in one of the chests in these places you need the bombs for, they're not. Every time you buy bombs preemptively, they're there. It's just the way it goes. So it's always just... it's like I knew it sort of thing coming out of that. Long live non-progressive. Yeah, so red mail is really nice, especially with 6 hearts already too. The red mail is going to be very nice to have around right now. So, maybe one question here, with all of this money coming up at the start, is Zora going to be something we need to see early?
I'm thinking that they don't have flippers at the moment. They don't have power gloves, so neither of them can currently access it unless they do fake flippers.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah, the logic will never require you to use it. So, it might have a good item there, and it might not. So we'll see if they find one of those two items. We might see them take a trip to Zora, or we might see them fake flipper there.
Just an hour boost at the library, so nothing too important there. Yeah, it's always interesting when you get the option to do logic breaks like that, and another one, usually being the hobo, is one that can really pull results, because there is a required item in order to actually... Oh, yeah, you don't want to save quit out of that, Andy. I did see it on foosda's end, and I knew foosda was going straight for it, because the bottle gives you access to Sick Kid, which is one more item here. Andy considering the save quit there, and it's like, maybe shouldn't do that. Who knows? So yeah, it's interesting just seeing the whole difference between red and blue poultry tier here is pretty much the only reason foosda's actually ahead out of this right now. It's just funny seeing Andy, not taking a hit, actually not paying off this time. Weird how that works, but
Yeah.
I guess sometimes you can just be too good, huh?
It's also a bit unlucky at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit, but most of the time it's not going to actually work out that way.
So it looks like we're about to see what Sick Kid has here. Just a little bit of love
this time. Yeah. Unlucky. So now Andy's just why didn't I just save and quit? I knew it. So here's an interesting thing. You were mentioning that foosda may take additional risks here. It looks like he is not going the standard route for the Light World progression here. He's actually going to go up to Easton, whereas Andy has taken the default route of going down to the dam here.
And it's
interesting.
It's definitely interesting. The only thing that would really make this worth the risk at the moment is if he finds either... he'd have to find something pretty significant, because the amount of chests that are down where Andy's checking at the moment, the chances of something being down there is far greater than something being up here, so...
Well, he did find the only way you can ever beat Agadim, so that's good, right? It's a bug net.
Bug net. Time for swagging him strats. Yeah, so Andy's going to be heading down to the mini Moldorm cave here down at the bottom, and this has 5 items in it, so it's definitely the most preferred route for most players.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to... I guess foosda's going up to deliver the mushroom now. This is not a bad play with the old logic, because the mushroom is an item that locks behind another item. There's a decent chance, especially when you get it early, it's a good chance this is actually going to pay off here.
Yeah, with the old logic, anything that was early access... Andy finding the flippers there! But anything that was pretty easy to access at the beginning of the game had a higher chance of having a good item behind it. So we could see this pay off for foosda. Well,
guess not.
Yes, another heart container. There's definitely a lot of safeties in this seed.
Yeah, there was another one on the island, but of course they've already got the better mail, so no need to pick up the blue mail ever. So we're not beating Aghanim just to get army here. It's got to be something a little bit more valuable than...
So, that's
finding not bad.
The power glove, that's excellent. That'll give them access to a bit of Death Mountain now as well. So...
So, yeah, where's Andy gonna go now? It's interesting. Normally, you would just save and quit straight out of here. So
he might head up to Eastern, or he could head straight to Zora. He doesn't have enough rupees yet, but or Ice Rod.
Yeah, it looks like Ice Cave. That's not bad either. I mean, swimming is faster than walking for stuff, and unless you've got the flute, a little bit of a time sink to come back here later. The lag generated by the exploding Octorok guy, though. Man. That always felt nasty when I was a kid. Like, playing the power version of this, it didn't lag as much because it just ran slower in the first place. But that one guy always caused all the lag, and it just so painful. Oh, just a heart piece there, though. Watching that.
So foosda's about to head in here to pick up his flippers, and hopefully that leads him to the power glove as well.
Yeah. So, and Andy's checking this before Death Mountain. Okay.
So it looks like we have Crystal 5 at Eastern. I didn't check which number was at Hera, and then
think it was
pendant.
1.
And then a blue pendant at Desert. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't Crystal 6 that was at Hera, so that's the main one we're interested in here. So this is one of those things that, I mean, I guess I would be sort of calling this between old and new logic here. In the new logic, you would definitely do what Andy's doing right now, like pretty much every time, because there's far more chance that items are not going to be gated behind something now because they've removed bias for that. But in the older logic, I mean, it's not exactly a bad play by any means, but it's not always the play that you would % of the time. Whereas now, wow, always just slot it in whenever you want. But it's not really the point here, I guess, because we are going to see what was missed in Escape. We are using Bomb. Hopefully going to see something good out of here. There's not a map because they already picked that up, so 3 items out of here.
Unfortunately not paying off.
Fat load another. So I fully expect Death Mountain will be next place I need to go. Unless he wants to turn in that mushroom. But I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, when you think about quantity, Death Mountain definitely has more, but again, the items that are generally in this logic, this seed will point you in a direction. It will give you items and tell you, go here. And you should pretty much, in this logic, you should follow it because it generally leads you to some good stuff. Unfortunately for him, it'll not pay off this time, but it's definitely good routing decision in his case.
As foosda gets the power glove here, it'll be interesting to see where he's going to go out of this. So, this is another one of those old logic versus new logic arguments that Death Mountain very often, not even picking up the heart container, the disrespect there. Andy doesn't need it, it's fine. But yeah, it looks like foosda is actually going to go straight up the mountain. This is definitely what you would... Oh no, foosda's got to do the other stuff first. Here. This is definitely something that you would do the older logic before the newer one, is that Death Mountain, even if you can only get a couple of items out of it, is almost always going to have something in this version of the logic. There's, like, even if you are just getting the save point for later, it's always a good idea going up Death Mountain as soon as you're able to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen it in many of the group stage races that there is just something here so often. But for the most part, they've checked all of the same places here, so it's actually pretty good. Though foosda's having a bit of a question of where he wants to go. Is he going?
It looks like he might be heading to the desert.
He had a grudge against that guard, that's for sure. Oh, Andy getting stuck right at the depth there. I hate these dead rocks so much. They just always in the way. And gets the flute. So yeah, the payout is exactly what we're expecting here. That is fantastic. Where is foosda going? Did he do Ice Rock?
He did, but he might be going to Zora. He looks like he's killing enemies along the way. So he might be hoping for a 20 rupee drop, maybe?
He
Yeah,
Could have grinded for some for that one little bit of money, but tempered
that
sword.
is tempered sword.
Very tasty. They're just a heart piece on the top, so mirror is not required to get that. That's the other thing, like, we were mentioning before, mirror's not strictly required to beat the game, but there's a lot of places which are locked by it. Not just thinking in terms of no save quit, there's about 5 or 6 items that you absolutely need the mirror for. Maybe even more because of purple chest and breadsmiths. Foosda's going to be taking a chance here. He's only got the 7. He can use the boomerang as what he's been doing here. It's a neat little trick that you can... Oh, gets the 20 anyway. It's a neat little trick that you can use. Getting the boomerang to, stun the enemies always gives you a single rupee.
The Titans mid are sitting on the ledge at Zora, as well as the fact that Moon Pearl was sitting on the ledge on Spectacle Rock, so...
Oh, it was the Moon Pearl there. Okay, I sort of misinterpreted that, apparently. So we are definitely going to have to kill Aga. That is not a question anymore.
Yeah, and with the Tempered Sword, Andy has the ability to do that.
Yeah, just not the Pegasus boots to actually get the mirror afterwards, as soon as I say that.
Speaking of Pegasus boots... Well, Foosda has found himself the boots, so definitely a great find for him. He's got Titan's mitts, now boots. I suspect that will lead him over to Death Mountain for sure at this point.
I sure hope so, as the shovel is the ledge item there.
So Andy not able to get it at the moment. So we won't see what's at the shovel location yet. So we'll get to see. Looks like we're gonna see what's in King's Tomb.
Yeah, I like the play from Foosda there because with the boots it doesn't take very long to get there. I know you need the boots to do that in the first place, but it really doesn't take very long to deviate there just before you do Death Mountain. So I like that as an idea. Only a bomb boost out of Ag in this cave, though. That cave in the new logic has an item way too often for my liking. Luckily, not this time, though. Well, I say luckily, it's not luckily for Andy, but Andy is in the right area to do farming for Zora, so that is pretty much what he's going to do now. Good stuff.
He's going to find himself the boots, Foosda's going to pick himself up the flute, and we're going to be, again, pretty much neck and neck. They're pretty much going to the same places, just one consecutively after the other. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see what the pyramid item is, because in old logic there was an extremely high chance for pyramid item to be a good item. Yep. There we go.
Foosda with his flute now. Once he's gotten the tempered sword from the top here, I believe we'll probably be seeing both players going to Aghanim pretty much at the same time here, which is really good.
So yeah, and he has the boots, so he can do spin speed there to get the extra boost up on the top here. So
feels good when you can do that sort of trick.
And again, Andy swimming, because swimming is faster than walking in Zora's domain. Definitely a good idea, and he's gonna find himself his boots right about now.
Yeah, it's especially true because walking in shallow water or in the tall grass and whatnot is slower than standard walking as well. So it's like doubly quicker to do the swimming if you can actually do it well. Because not only do you just go faster than normal walking, but your normal walking is also a slower pace than usual. So, yep, so Foosda's just got to take a quick moment to activate his duck, and then we'll basically be seeing them both go the same way.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are gonna head to get their Aghanim kill so that they can head over to grab their mirror.
Yep.
So definitely a good idea. Getting mirror early on is really nice for dungeons.
Oh yeah, especially if you don't get the hammer and you need to do stuff in Palace of Darkness beforehand, because not being able to take that shortcut out of that dungeon, it's not fun.
So we get to see Andy here being the first into Hyrule Castle.
Tempered Sword is a nice thing to have around for here. Like, Tempered or Golden Sword are both really good here, because with a Tempered Sword being able to do Gold Sword damage at spin attack, that basically one-shots every enemy. So, normally you would only have the Master Sword here that takes a lot of hits to kill most of these guys. You need 2 full spin attacks to kill the Ball and Chain guys, as an example. That's doable, but hard to set up, so makes it so much easier when you have a higher level sword than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have a lot of safety items too. They've got red mail, a lot of extra hearts. So they're probably going to be...
doesn't even care about the damage here.
They're not even really taking a lot of risks. Or, sorry, they're not going to be worried about taking a lot of risks because of their safety items.
Yeah, like... Not even dashing through the guys, it's just, I'm just gonna walk through everything here. I have so many hearts. Who cares, right?
Exactly.
So yep, just 2 clean hits to kill these, and then I imagine he'll be luring the guards with a poke here. Yep. And then 1 spin attack to take him out. He's got the boomerang equipped already, because that way you don't have to lift the pot on the left or the right hand side. Oh no, although he is going to anyway for the heart, I suppose. But you can actually just use the boomerang to cross the rail. That's what you normally do in NNG stuff, as far as I know.
And foosda also making quick work of here. They're both making excellent time with having the boots and
getting shot in the face a few times though.
Yeah, getting denied the run there. So we're about to see if we get our first Swagonim fight here.
Nah, I have a feeling that Andy's going to be taking this seriously enough that he's not going to do what I did and mess around with it. Yeah, I did the thing is, in my first race, I did the first 4 hits normally, and then I switched to the bug net and immediately got hit by the next shot, so I missed a cycle. So, you know...
So it looks like we're gonna see a no blue balls Aghanim fight here.
Yeah, perfect RNG, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep the menu time low as well. That's the other thing. You don't wanna do unnecessary menuing in it now. That's part of the fun, is just seeing how low your time can get. And I know Andy gets disappointed if he goes above like this, which is crazy.
So Andy making quick work of Aghanim. He's gonna be heading into the Dark World. Doesn't have the Moon Pearl, so not able to check Catfish or anything while he's here. So just gonna grab the item and probably save and quit. Ooh!
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about the about good items being there. Unfortunately, I don't think Andy has any arrows in order to use it. So
he did have a lot of arrow drops in Escape that he just ward past. He's got 5. Okay, so it's better than 0 at the very least. But
yeah,
5 is 10. Oh, he's not going to get the mirror straight away. I guess he's got to do this bit first. So he didn't check Kingston before. So yeah, okay, it's reasonable enough. Also, I guess an important thing, because they don't have the Moon Pearl, there is no refill when you go into the Dark World here, of the health refill, because bunnies apparently don't need health, so... You don't have life insurance as a bunny, I guess.
Nope.
You do have magical bows that can shoot arrows, though, so... That's always something. Yeah, and Andy also didn't get the... pile here as well, just a piece of heart, but that's fine. So basically they're both caught up again, and we're going to see the mirror picked up at the same time. I think we're then just going to see the flute to get the Moon Pearl and the Spectacle Rock, and maybe Tower of Hera whilst they're there. They might not be able to finish the dungeon, but there's an equal chance that they can. About 50-50 as to whether you get the big key at the start, right? So
yeah, the one thing you don't want to see is is the small key right off the bat.
Oh yeah, map or compass at the bottom, and then a small key. That's the worst case scenario. So yeah, and then once you've gotten that.
Yeah, it looks like Andy's going to Eastern. It is a crystal dungeon. It is dungeon number, I believe, 5 or 6. It's one of the two.
Yeah, it is one of those. That's interesting. I'm not against the play. I'm just thinking maybe if you could chain that with Palace of Darkness if it's acquired, which we don't know yet because obviously we haven't checked the map. But if Palace of Darkness is acquired, then chaining those two together is fantastic. I know you need the hammer first, but you know, the hammer could be in here, but I don't usually see it in this dungeon, so be interesting to see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Oh,
no, foosda, what are you doing?
Foosda. Oh!
Denying the bird!
Oh my god, the cheese! Foosda, what are you doing to our hearts here?
BMing the bird. Speaking of the sulky though.
Yeah. Andy,
that's okay though. He can still get the big key out of the next chest. It's okay.
Yep, okay,
see,
good.
Everything's fine. No problem. Now he just needs to get 2 items at the top and not basement. It's fine. Or Moldon could have the lantern and then the second item, or the hammer, say the second item, is down in the basement. That would be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So
well, there's the other boomerang.
Yeah, the magic boomerang in Eastern. So I know he's found one item there. I don't particularly remember what the very first chest was.
I think it was the compass in first chest. Oh no, it can't be the compass.
So,
right, so never mind that then. It was an item in the first one then. Oh boy, I see hookshot at the chat there.
Yeah, hookshot in. Oh my god.
That's fantastic timing. So now you'll be able to check all of Death Mountain on the Dark World side as well. Yeah, that dash can be a little bit tricky. It's possible to just move horizontally through that. You don't have to dash it. It's obviously easier if you do. It's yeah, you can dash across that, but it is a bit finicky. As Andy does just find the map, so he is going to have to full clear the rest of the dungeon here. But we know foosda's going to check those chests at the same time, so... Alright, so Tempered Sword Moldon, you want to do 1 spin attack and then either a spin attack or a slash, so that you just kill him in 2 hits, rather than picking 3. I didn't see if he got a second item. Was it just a hookshot that was picked up?
Yeah, I believe that he's only got 1 item from here, but I could be mistaken. I was looking at the tracker at the same time.
Chat saying item in basement, so gonna have to remember that one.
So he does have the hook shot. That's a good thing for him because while he's already up here, he's able to check East Death Mountain, and East Death Mountain has 8 chests on this side, so definitely gonna be a nice thing to grab while he's already here.
He's gonna get a total of 15 items potentially in this area because he has all the stuff to do the Dark World side as well. The mirror to get the item on the top. He's got Titan's Mitt, Moon Pearl, Hookshot, all of the stuff you need to get every item over in this area. Oh, Andy having a little bit of trouble with the guard here. He's run out of arrows, so
he's gonna do some dash pokes. Ooh, if he finds the book, Link is now literate.
That's interesting, because now when he goes up the mountain, he can get the Ether Tablet too, which is something foosda can't. Ether Tablet Fire Rod, maybe? Oh, well, there's the hammer!
foosda found the Pain of Samaria and the hammer already on Death Mountain.
Samaria as well, okay. I was too busy watching Andy not be the power of the Armos there. So yeah, finding the hammer too. That's really. Oh, missed a bomb jump, however. I wonder. I think. Yeah, he's probably going to do the Dark World side now. I mean, with where he's at, this wouldn't be too bad. No, he's gonna go do the top. Okay.
Yeah, Spiral Cave will probably be where he heads, and then right at the exit of Spiral Cave is the entrance to Dark World.
Yeah. So, well, given the fact if he did fall down, I think a slightly better way than that would have just been to go do the Dark World stuff, get the Super Bunny Cave, and then, you can get Spiral and Hookshot Cave when you're out there at the same time. That's what I would have done with it, but it really is just second tier. Yo, Vanilla Ether! Okay. That might be important.
Yeah, definitely. Luckily he had it luckily he got the book before he headed up here. Because that might be something that foosda might end up forgetting, and depending upon what the Dark World dungeons are, it could be definitely a disadvantage for him.
Yeah, and it depends. Like, if foosda gets a fire source out of the Death Mountain stuff here, he may end up doing the basement of Tower Hera just whilst he's here. And that would definitely make getting the Ether Tablet an unfavorable thing at that stage. Failing that, he might end up coming back to do Spike Cave later, because without an invincibility item, Spike Cave, even with this health, is not really feasible.
Yeah, I believe you need about 14 hearts for survivability without any kind of invincibility. Speaking of fire source here. Wow.
Okay. That makes things interesting.
Goodness, this Death Mountain has been like a complete treasure trove of items for
I guess you could say it's been the life of the run so far, huh?
Yeah.
Not exactly a death mountain by any means.
Definitely not. Hookshot Cave, unfortunately, not yielding a lot.
Except the baby shield.
Yeah.
I love it when you manage to get that Beery with the hookshot as you're hooking over them. It really does make it interesting. So I'm assuming Turtle Rock was required. Have we actually seen anyone check the map yet?
I haven't, but that doesn't necessarily mean they haven't. These players map so fast sometimes that I am not able to catch it.
Alright, so with all of the Death Mountain stuff, at least for now, cleared, and we know that it'd only be Maya. I wonder if, with the flute mitts and everything, would you go Maya first, or would you do what foosda's doing here?
I would probably do what foosda's doing. Maya is a pendant. Palace of Darkness is also a pendant.
Ice Palace is Crystal 6.
Oh gosh.
that could be something. I mean, Ice Rod at Fat Fairy, I've seen it before. Oh, sorry, double-chested fairy. Gotta be correct with the terminology we use here, right? So currently, Misery Maya is a tentative not required, so that's implying that ether pickup is not actually that important right now. Because Bomb Burst is what you need for Turtle Rock, so... Of course, we all know it is highly possible that it is required, but like the current sort of hope for the players at the very least is that it is.
I am going to rely on your keen sense of everything while I mark the crystals and pendants.
That's fine, no worries. I saw the Helmsol would be pretty fun, yes. So foosda not quite getting stuff. So I think Andy kind of did a similar sort of route what I was hoping foosda would do. He's already done all of the Dark World stuff here. There's the Cane of Samaria. If I'm looking at that right, he's already done all of the stuff in the Dark World here. So he's just picking up the Light World side now. Nice way around. Yep, use the sword beam there as foosda is taking the frog for a hammer dashing trip. Yeah, hammer dashing the wrong direction slightly, but that's okay. Yeah, Andy has done Eastern Palace, and foosda has not the hover and the lamp there as well. That's pretty good. No dark runes required this time.
No, definitely not for foosda. We could still see maybe Andy not check that, depending upon how quickly he finds the other items he may need. So, at the moment, I guess they're just looking for? They're just looking for the ice rod and and I guess whatever the medallion is for Turtle Rock.
Bombos.
So yeah, they're just looking for Bombos and the ice rod here. And I know Andy is probably comfortable enough to do dark rooms without the lantern, so...
So, interestingly, Andy is still in the Death Mountain stuff here. I think he's going to go back... Oh no, he hasn't done Sparrow Cave. Okay, so he didn't do quite the same route I was thinking. I think he did Super Bunny Cave, then mirrored and did the right-hand side of Lightwell Death Mountain, then did Hookshot Cave, and now is doing Spiral Cave. Okay, that's still a little bit quicker than the way foosda did it. Yeah, you've gotta leave the thing behind. Just make sure you don't leave it on the portal. Oh, half magic, that's good.
That's definitely a good find. It's always nice finding that for Ice Palace.
That's literally twice as many fire rod shots you can shoot now, so always good. Yes, so it's always an interesting thing that I see with players is when, especially with foosda not having the powder, that's always interesting. With foosda not having the book right now, it's interesting that he's doing the purple chest stuff without going into the light world and just using the flute. Because you'd think with the Pegasus boot dashes and not having to main purple chest and whatnot that it would be quicker to go back around again later.
Well, it depends. I guess he might try to stop by Hype Cave on the way back. Yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to still do it. It's not as if it's that big of a difference. It's just like I would imagine that if you had full control over, like, you just using the Pegasus boots that normally he gets murdered by the crows here. It would be interesting to probably a bit quick to go, yeah, because now he's just going to go into the Dark World from here anyway. So I don't know. Maybe most of the time when people do that, it's because they're going to take the Bombos tablet afterwards. But when you have free access to like all of the portals, as Andy's going Thieves Town, not a bad idea when you have all the stuff to do it, and Pegasus Boots makes it pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. And you're having to look for the big key at the beginning anyways, so even if you're in go mode, it's not a bad place to check or to stop in, because sorry. I'm messing up my words here again.
The +5 hours ruined it. Brian, 3 red rupees, and just the +5. Not exactly much of a hype cave this time. So foosda's just got to question himself a little bit, going, right, where do I actually want to go now? And he might be going swamp here. Also, not a bad idea. There's a lot of items in here.
Yeah, there's 6 potential items in Swamp. The only thing is Swamp does take a fairly long time if you're not in go mode. So yeah, he's probably taking a little bit of a risk here by coming here before checking anything else. So
yeah, slightly.
with dungeons like Swamp, Ice Palace, Skullwoods, those are all ones that you can pretty much, when you're in go mode, they're extremely fast to clear. So he is taking a little bit of a gamble by coming in here early before he's in go mode to see if there's anything good. Whereas Andy will most likely check the dungeons that you're actually required basically to almost full clear it in order to get through it.
Yeah, Andy's dungeon at the moment consistent that way is the Magic Cape. That could actually lead to an item. I don't believe you've seen the Cape Cave get checked yet, or the Bumper Cave as it's usually called. That could lead to something, but yeah, it's I think, as you were saying, it's a bit more consistent to do Thieves at the moment, just because of the fact of it has more, items that you have to look at anyway, just because of where the big key normally is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that foosda's doing like the wrong choice or anything here. I mean, in hindsight, every choice is the wrong choice, right? But it does mean that if Andy finds everything that he needs before doing this dungeon, he is gonna rocket through this place in comparison. Like, the difference between go mode and not go mode in this dungeon is literal, like, minutes here. Done 4 or 5 minutes probably. It is absolutely gigantic. All because of this stupid side over here, and the fact that you've got to go like down the bottom bit here, got to go all the way around the room stuff here. You can't even use like a hook for that.
Yeah, exactly. Swamp is fairly lengthy if you're not in go mode. And it looks like so far hasn't particularly paid off, but there's still quite a few more items that he has yet to check.
Yeah. I like this one. I think I finally got this into my muscle memory as well, where you use the key that you get from the hookshot to actually trigger the crystal switch, and then go get the key from the pot down here that you, in vanilla, you would get this key first, and then go and hit the stuff there. It saves the screen transition or two going around, as I did see the pizza joke from Blind there, but...
It's a bit cheesy.
It is. I like the newer ones that he's gone, the ones they've added since making all of these seeds. There's a few new ones there. There's some obvious quote-unquote hints. Misery Maya needs Bombers, Steefer, or Quake. It's like, yeah, thanks, I kind of knew that. So I like some of the new ones. But,
Andy having an excellent blind fight there.
Oh, yeah.
Quick work of it and heads... After grabbing his third now crystal, looks like he might be heading to the digging game.
Yeah, he'll be doing the stuff that foosda did just now as well. He may actually also take the purple chest through the Dark World, but that's because he has the book. So it makes a bit more sense then, because you can basically just go from the screen where the thief is to the Bombers tablet really quickly. So... just a bomb boost, nothing too special. As we see over here, just a map, equally unspecial. And then the biggest screw you blocks in the game, the orange squares of doom there. If you always forget that, oh yeah, I need to hit the crystal switch first before I can go here. I bet almost everybody in their vanilla playthrough of this game got stopped by those blocks. Like, when they were younger. Absolutely.
100% did. Yep.
There's not really any way that you predict. It's like, oh great, the crystal switch is down. I could just go down this orbit here. Nope, surprise orange blocks.
Yep.
So Andy's about to pick up the lamp here. He actually considered not picking it up there.
Yeah, that stutter step there.
It's a very brief consideration of, I don't want this.
Save the frames. And then realized, it might make things quicker.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't have Maya and you don't have Palace of Darkness to do, and Turtle Rock is secretly not a difficult place to do in the dark, it is potentially frame saving, as you mentioned. There's also the fact of it can make menuing between the Fire Rod and Cane of Samaria a bit easier. So, because then you don't have to 2 up and then to the right, or to the left even if you're going from Samaria. Oh, I hate that staircase at first. It's just had to go back down there. There's supposedly a way of getting it so that you don't actually get caught by it. I don't really know it. Like, I thought you just held left for it, but that doesn't seem to be consistent. If there's 100% way of not getting caught by that, I need...
Yeah.
You do not have to push this again, though, foosda.
He just wanted to give Link the his daily leg workout. Remember?
It's okay, he's taking the scenic route round. He's fine.
Don't skip leg day, Link.
So that's another one of those big sort of up yours moments if you've got the Cane of Samaria, because you just go, oh, just put the Cane of Samaria block down on that and it'll be fine. And nope, you've gone off screen, so the block despawned. And now you've got to actually push the statue on the switch proper. As Andy's getting caught by the pig guards a little bit there, having a bit of trouble with it. So yeah, like I was mentioning, when you've got the book to check the Bombos tablet, this is something I've seen a lot of people do, and I do agree with this one. Because now you're in the area to check the Bombos tablet already. It really didn't take very long to do. And the Bombos tablet is one you've kind of got to go out your way a little bit for anyway. Unless you're doing Swamp Palace as well, then it's maybe not quite such a big deal. But yeah, it's kind of irritating to come down here at that time. So what are we going to see from here? We saw Vanilla Aether. Maybe? Oh, just a red rupee. Oh, that's a fantastic kill from foosda there.
Yes, very excellent kill. Unfortunately, not yielding any good items, though.
No, but I think Andy might be doing the same thing here. He's got to check Height Cave first, but I think he might end up doing the same dungeon here that foosda's just done. So that'll be interesting, because at this point, Andy has done Eastern over foosda, and that is just about it. I mean, that's where the book came from, so there isn't a huge amount of... Nice duck pickup there. Awesome. Interesting that you would go to 6 and not actually go into Maya's bit first.
Yeah, you know, again, it's all about, I guess, the interesting thing about Randomizer is all about taking risks. So he probably is hoping that he's gonna find the book or something in this cave, something of significance. We unfortunately know that that is not what he's going to find. Yeah,
and it also looks like I was completely wrong about where Andy's going at the moment. He's actually going to check Catfish. Now's as good a time as any, I suppose. Catfish is going to take ages to get to no matter where you go from, so...
It looks like we have a question in chat about what medallions are required. So currently at the moment what they're looking for is Bombos.
Yes.
That will open Turtle Rock. Depending upon where Ice Rod is, because we don't know yet, we could also see a potential... actually, I didn't catch... looks like Bombos is also Misery Mire. Yeah, okay. Misery Mire is also Bombos. So only Bombos is needed at the moment. Bottle and 20 rupees. Nope, nothing of significance there. And unfortunately, Catfish was not.
Catfish didn't even have it in him to give a full piece of love.
Yep.
Yeah, only the little piece today. So, for anyone who's never actually thrown another thing into the pot, he actually just spits a fireball at you, like one of the Zora fireballs, if you decide to throw another item into his pond afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, you think you're a tough guy, and we'll have a fireball in the face. That's pretty much the line, not quite a line, but that's a pretty paraphrase of it. Oh, just the boulder shield, I suppose, for the stuff there, because of the way the color palette stuff messes up. It always looks like a... I think that was the first time I heard that on commentary. It's like, right, I have to call it this now whenever it comes up. It's just... So, looks like Foosda's trying to get the super speed, that's fine. He is going to take care of Easton now, so that'll be eroding a little bit into Andy's advantage. Although Andy has done more overworld stuff by now, which could be interesting, and just a piece of heart on the cave there, on the ledge there.
Now, I might be mistaken, but I think foosda did not pick up the shovel, which was sitting on the ledge, but he mirrored onto the ledge to pick it up.
It doesn't look like he did, so that's a bit weird, but sure.
Yeah, that might be interesting. If that's holding Bombos or Ice Palace, yep, it's holding an entire. It's holding
the entire palace. Yep.
Yeah.
Andy getting smacked by the red beetle guy there. Is that hard hat beetle or something they're called? I don't.
Oh, it's Bombos!
Oh boy!
Andy finds Bombos.
That's not bad, actually, because this is a required dungeon, and Foosda is going to come here sooner rather than later. I mean, he's going to do Easton because Crystal 5, maybe still thinking that our dear chested fairy might actually have something, which, fair reason, and you may as well just do the dungeon once you're here anyway. But I imagine, because of it being a crystal dungeon, Skullwoods will be relatively high up on the priority list here. So finding Bombos there is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like it was in the big chest, which is...
Yeah, when Moth has the key.
Yeah. That's always the worst, is when Mothula has the big key and then you have to go back and check the big chest.
Yeah, it's like when you get the situation where that chest that Andy's just dashed past has an item, and then the big key is at Moth, and the big chest has the other item. That's the worst case swamp that you can. Maximum backtrack.
That was a very nice lantern room there from Andy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you're a bit low on magic, you can take a bit of extra time to hit the middle 2 torches with 1 fire rod. But that's obviously only if you don't have the lamp and are short on magic.
Alright, so we're about to see our Mothula fight here. Ooh, very nice quick
That is
kill.
something that I really should try and learn at some point. Dashing into it at the start, I want to say that generates 2 hits. I've seen it generate 2 hits before, where you're dashing it into the block at the end, and then before any of the spikes even really get to move, you take the rest of it out. Fantastic.
Yeah, excellent execution there.
Yeah, because Moth is one of those bosses that gets out of hand very, very quick because of its immunity when it's over spikes. Oh, we're gonna get to see what's on the pedestal. Could be Ice Rod. I think that's about the only thing it could be at this point, but...
Oh, no. Only increased bomb storage.
But it's at such a low price! How could you refuse it?
Definitely an explosive pedestal.
Oh yeah.
So now it looks like Andy, I believe, has already been here, so he's got Bombos. Might he check Misery Mire?
I don't... Has he been here?
Oh no, maybe not.
Yeah, especially because he's just checked the thing there as well. Yeah, he's coming here for the first time. So hopefully he picks up the shovel, and then we can find a little piece of love that's buried there, right? Because that's what it's obviously gonna be.
Yeah, not Ice Palace.
Not Ice Palace. No, but that would be an interesting thought. Effectively digging through the world, kind of like the old dig a tunnel through the earth type thing, and end up in not Australia, obviously, but end up in the Ice Palace instead. That would be interesting. Alright, Foosda's gone back. I think he realized he did miss the shovel, so he is probably gone here. I wonder if he's going to check any of the stuff here. I would like to say you check Ice Palace first. I know, Ice Palace, it's so scary, but...
well, he doesn't have Bombos. He has Fire Rod. So
yeah, he's got enough stuff to do it.
yeah.
Oh, that was another thing that's actually been, as Andy is actually going into chat, that's another thing that has been fixed fairly recently. If you noticed that even though he had the flute out there, as soon as he picked up the shovel, the item defaulted to the shovel. That is something which has been fixed in more recent versions of the randomizer, where it will actually keep the flute as the active item now. Because he wanted to immediately flute away, but he just dug a hole instead, because that's what was the active item at the time. So, oh, it's not a piece of heart. Oh.
Yeah, just bombs. More bombs.
You know, it would have been kind of amusing if instead of grabbing the dog there, he grabbed the item and it stopped him from grabbing the dog. Not to be mean to the players, just, you know, with the way that he deliberately bonked off of that, it would have been kind of funny if it actually accidentally picked up the item first. Alright, so Thieves Town before Skullwoods, perfectly fine with that. There's a lot of items in there. You can get everything because you've got the hammer. No problems with that at all. I forgot that he didn't do Thieves Town yet, actually, so Andy had that over him as well.
Yeah, this could be interesting because Andy's only looking for Ice Rod at the moment. So as soon as he finds that, he's going to be in go mode. Foosda still has to go into Skullwoods to find Bamos. So depending upon how quickly Andy finds the Ice Rod, you know, it can still turn around at any moment.
Yeah, Ice Rod is notoriously the worst item in the game when you're trying to find stuff, because the only place that it's not possible to show up in is Trinex. And of course, Ganon's Tower when you actually need it. Every other time when you don't need it, of course, it's going to be very easily available in the world, so... It is the one item that you never want to be looking for last.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get the feeling that when Andy checked the pedestal, he was secretly hoping it would be there, just so that he knew where it was. Because at least then you've got a target to work towards.
Exactly.
Whereas right now, he's got nothing.
It could even be, I know in a lot of these seeds, it could even be in Pod or in Ice Palace. It's been known to... Those two dungeons have been known to hold more items than I'd like to admit.
And don't even get me started on it being on the Eye Bridge.
Oh,
well, he found the other medallion.
Yeah, Andy's finished his medallion collection. He's got all 3.
He is the official currency collector, or a coin collector, I guess. Rupees, of course, the currency of Hyrule, but coins, of course, are the main component of our currency in the real world, so...
Yeah, very, very nice Landmolus fight from Andy. Andy is showing us all the good on execution here for these bosses. And Foosda now picking up his cape. Might lead him to check Bumper Cave, but we already know that unfortunately he's not going to find anything good there.
Yeah, because he still has to do the North Dark World and the Catfish stuff as well, so that's a good chain that you can link together. As you say, we know that it isn't going to yield anything, but it is still, you know, when you're looking at routing decision stuff, that's still a good place to go. And I think Andy is finally going to go Swamp Palace here.
So, and because he's not in go mode, he's going to be looking through all of the chests as well, probably.
Yeah, so that's... Gone.
He might opt to skip them, but most likely he'll end up checking them.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to skip them somehow, and that's going to make it... Like, all of the potential disadvantage that Foosda had at the time is basically going to be disappeared now, because Andy's going to have to do the same thing. This is the nature of the Ice Rod in these things, that it makes you do all the stuff that you don't want to do, and only to find that it is in the worst part, or the final possible spot, or in Mimic Cave, one of the two. Yeah, having a bit of trouble with the Beery there.
And it might be interesting whether or not Foosda just decides to go through all the crystal dungeons and then check Turtle Rock, because it could be sitting in Turtle Rock. So
yeah, that would be an interesting gamble.
And I was actually There we go. Yep. I couldn't remember whether or not foosda had picked up the book yet.
Right, yes. Yeah, he does still have to get Ether as well, so...
Yeah,
that could factor into it.
He hadn't gone to Ether nor Bombos pedestals yet, so... He's got still quite a few overworld locations that he hasn't checked.
So the question will be then, when does he do that? Does he do that before, say, checking Ice Palace? Or... yeah, when is he gonna do that? I mean, Skullwoods seems like it would be the logical choice to do now, but maybe not. Oh, he hasn't checked. See, how has he not checked this house yet?
It might have just been out of habit.
Again, flashbacks off of that now.
Oh man, I forgot that house.
That house is the only reason I'm not still in this myself. So, yeah, flashbacks off of
that house for me has held Fire Rod once when I forgot it, and it was definitely a painful experience.
Yeah. And he doesn't have the big key yet because that was in the second half here. So did we get to see what we got cursed with yet? I don't remember if Andy picked this up.
I don't believe he has been in here yet. He got cursed with more health. So he's definitely got enough life now to check Spike Cave. Neither of them have checked that.
And he's got the cape as well, so that definitely helps. I believe there was a green potion in the race bottle, like the first one that they got, so there's no worry about magic either here. But Skullwoods is the play, and I definitely agree with this.
Yep, and this is going to lead him to Bombos, so then, now this is basically going to be a race to the Ice Rod. As long as foosda picks up... Oh!
foosda, what are you doing? No! Go back! He's
going to Bumper Cave! He's going to Bumper Cave!
You fool!
Yeah, see, I actually... Wait,
he's not even going there!
He's going to Catfish, maybe.
What are you doing, foosda?
Oh, there you go. There he's going. He hadn't checked this location before.
Not like this, indeed.
Yeah, it's again, this is all a race to the Ice Rod, so he unfortunately not finding anything. He's not going to find anything good in these locations. We've already seen it, so hopefully he heads back over to Skullwoods where he can pick up Bombos.
Yeah, I guess he's just hoping the Catfish is... Otherwise, you would go that direction here.
Nope, he's not going to... Yeah, he's going to Bumper Cave now, so... Maybe because Skullwoods has an entrance close by, he might...
Yeah, that is true. It does. I'm not sure if it's an entrance you would really take, but it does have one.
Not on this top part, but this next screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading into Skullwoods. There we go. Yep. And Andy also making quick work of Argus here.
Yeah, perfectly pulling off the same Fire Rod strat that foosda did. Whoa, foosda, what are you doing?
No, he's skipping.
Why?
Oh no.
Arg.
See, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, though, about taking those risks. This one is not going to pay out for him. He has to go back to the other side, or he's not going to be able to get into... Ooh, well, he found the big key. That might...
Okay. No! Stop! Back! You fool! Why must you play with our emotions so?
I was hoping when he picked up the big key that might lead him back, but unfortunately that was not meant to be.
Would have led me back, that's for sure. I think you're right, okay, if I, for whatever reason, I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't have done it that way in the first place, but So, okay, this is another thing I'm not so sold on, the way he's doing it here, because especially if you want to check the pedestal afterwards, you're mostly going to be wanting the mirror out at the end of this, and you'll probably want the mirror out to check the pedestal and whatnot as well. So I think that chest is better off checked after you beat Moth, because then you can just bring the mirror out and go back to the start of the dungeon and whatnot. But, you know, again, just the minor sort of stuff that on time to time.
It's ooh, unfortunately missed that lantern there for a second, but yeah, that's why it's interesting that he. Oh no! Okay, good. Andy coming back into swamp here because he did not check this side. So
yes, so Andy, what he ended up doing with this is what I've seen a couple of people do in the end, is that he basically just went to the end and then comes back to check the stuff here. Because if Argus has got the big key, you're going to have to backtrack in anyway, and you've just spent a whole bunch of time going on the other side for no reason. So I can understand that. I'm not sure why he's going down that particular gap. I know you can hookshot across, but
foosda making again excellent work on Mothula. That
Yeah.
was another speedy Mothula kill.
These guys. Wait. Andy, did you check the other chest? I mean, I think that one had the map anyway, so you probably worked that out, but it's like, that was interesting, the way that he didn't check that chest first.
Oh, please tell me he's not gonna flute away as soon as he checks this.
Oh, no.
No!
Oh, no!
No, don't do it!
You
Foosda.
can't even flute from here. You've got to move out. No! Foosda!
No!
Oh, he's being forced back
Please,
in anyway.
please,
He's gonna
please.
he's not gonna do it.
Yes!
See?
Oh my god! He's not leaving!
Oh,
Oh!
my heart can't take it. Foosda, please.
Foosda, please!
Why? Why must you play with our emotions? Oh god.
Oh my god!
So hey, how about that exciting start with the fighters, right?
And while we
That's
were
good.
watching Andy dug his way into Ice Palace.
Yeah. So getting the big key out of the first chest is pretty good.
Yeah.
Gets a small key here. So I think, yeah, Foosda, should just use the small key there. Smart way of doing this though, because there's just one chest to check here, and then he's gonna use that open the door that he just opened, in order to check the two chests on this side as well. Really good way of doing this, so with the fact that he backtracked to get here in the first place. This is really smart. And there we go. Thank you.
Finally picking up Bombos. So again, now officially, this is a race to the ice rod. Who is gonna find it first? Is
Oh, look
either-
at that hover,
the
just
hover.
immediately over there. No question whatsoever. That, if you can do it, that is the massive sort of advantage for that. You have no setup time for that whatsoever. Really, really good. And Foosda is going to Ice Palace as well. This is definitely a smart move.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock, who makes the gamble for Turtle Rock? Who makes the gamble for Palace of Darkness? If it's if they're taking risks.
I don't think this is really what you need to be doing at the moment, Andy. I mean, you didn't pick up a key. So, okay, so the idea of that, if you either bomb jump or hover like Andy did there, if you have a small key, you can go down bottom there, and you can get the one key that is to the right of, well, basically the right of the big chest and the, pit to go towards Coldstair. But if you don't have a key, then you're going to have to go all the way up anyway. I mean, you can get it on the way down, so maybe it's not so bad, but it's just interesting to see the sort of logic decision here. If you don't have the hook shot, that's normally the best way that I've found to get that one item. is to, with a small key, bomb jump across that gap and then go from there. Of course, if you fail it, then you've got to go around the way, but what's that to a hover, am I right?
So it looks like no ice rod yet.
Yeah, was that the third item in here, or was that only 2?
I know he got a blue rupee, or sorry, a red rupee, a heart. I don't know if it's the third item, but
why
it looks
isn't
like
he isn't checking that chest?
that means it's definitely the third item.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Better be, otherwise he's in trouble. Out there.
Yeah, there is a lot of keys in Ice Palace as well. So, foosda I think is a little bit low for that bomb jump. So, he's got a few bombs to set himself up, lots of hearts. So, again, not low enough there. That one's too low.
It's one of those quote-unquote pixel-perfect things to do. Like, yeah, you have to be at the right pixel for it, but there's lots of variations.
Oh, there you go. He's perfect now.
Okay. There's lots of variations on it that you can do, so it's not it's a pixel-perfect trick, but it's not that difficult, if you will, because there's lots of ways that you can get to pixel perfection. Oh, that is cool. You seen the way that he used the dash there, so the start of the dash to keep his sword out, so that he didn't actually lose any traction on keeping the heads in the corner there. That is awesome.
So they have, so Andy now has a few options. He could go to pod. He's done,
you don't have a potion, foosda! Gotta be careful!
But yeah, he's done, he could go to pod, he could go to Misery Mire, he could go straight to Turtle Rock and gamble that it's there. There's also, I don't recall what was the, so it looks like he's got Eastern Palace and Ice Palace, which was Crystals 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And that will lead him to also the Double-Chested Fairy, so we could also see if that's there. There's still quite a bit that these guys can check here. Oh, foosda. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, you do not want to die in the middle of Ice Palace, because it is a very long trip to come back around again. Oh yeah, this is running with the older version again. That's another thing of more text. Oh, what is going on here? There is a way around this, right?
Yeah, he
Oh no! Is he gonna get it in time?
Oh, he did!
Okay, then.
Oh,
wait,
but the bomb! Oh, okay. Woo!
Right, yeah, so I think if you screen transition at the same time as the bomb is exploding, then you actually, like, cancel the explosion. And that was hair-raising, but at the same time, like, he would have known. Interesting there that, I guess, but maybe because he was in spin speed, it didn't trigger?
Oh, the troll!
Ouch!
A green rupee and 10 arrows. Oh, the worst.
Oh, boy.
foosda mirroring out of Ice Palace.
Whoops.
Might have realized that he didn't need any more items and might just be going for the boss now. The only thing is that you gotta
do the start again.
Yeah,
That's
and he's gonna need to do the bomb jump again.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't think about that.
It might... Oh, it looks like Andy's opting to head into pod, which is, again, not a bad decision.
Yeah.
Pod has a potential of 5 items in the dungeon, so depending upon what's in there...
Yeah, see, Andy's already done Desert Palace, which dissuades him a little bit from doing Maya, because you could do the 2 of those in tandem, and that would maybe start the backtracking a little bit. But even as a green pendant, Maya only has 3 items and is really, really long to get through. Palace of Darkness is long, but most of it, there's more items in here than there is in Maya, and most of the time you'll be able to do the 2 of them in close to the same sort of time.
Yeah,
when you're trying to 100% it. Mostly because of that freaking torture. that the torch like upstairs bit that you have to wait 10 years in order to actually see to have the off-screen thing move so you can get the big key. So yeah, as you're saying, first line it up.
I think that one was
perfect.
good. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. I'm really curious on where foosda's going to go after this.
Yeah, for my money, Andy's choice is the logical one, because more items generally quicker to go through, but foosda hasn't done Desert Palace, so that might factor into his play here.
And he might instead decide also to go to... he might head up Death Mountain, because again, they still haven't checked bottom of Tower of Hera. They haven't checked Spike Cave. He hasn't also checked Ether Tablet. So there's 3 things up there that he can check in the overworld, which will be on the way to Turtle Rock. And if he's taking gambles because of who he's up against, that might be a direction that he might go to.
Oh, foosda didn't go for it. Wait, why did he mirror then? Because he didn't go through. Did he get him? He can't have gotten himself stuck.
No, he had the hook shot to get across. I'm not particularly sure why he did. Might have been an accident. It might not have. I genuinely do not know.
That sword beam that Andy just hit the thing with there is really tricky to do. Like, I always thought it was impossible just because the sword beam seemed too wide, but no, it's just really, like, precise in terms of the positioning. Yeah, just a small key there, okay. So Andy did realize he had all the items in the dungeon then when he didn't open that chest before. foosda getting a little bit sort of confused, I guess, as to what he still needs to do here. And I could have sworn... Oh!
Silver arrows in Palace of Darkness. Ooh,
okay.
That's definitely gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, like, nobody at this point will need silver arrows to beat the game, but that doesn't stop silver arrows from being a big time save. Like, they still save a significant amount of time in the fight itself, and having those here, especially if foosda for whatever reason doesn't go here, could be a big deal. Absolutely. Oh, bombs in the vanilla chest there. Let's see how foosda handles Cold Stare. Going in with the bomb burst is a good strategy when you're already down at half magic. That's enough for the fire rod to kill it, but now this enables the cape to be used if he wants. Or, yeah, I did that earlier on, actually, in a run I was doing on my own stream. I spun it out way too early and didn't have any chance of keeping these guys in the corner that way. It's always kind of frustrating. But Tempered Sword making quick work of them here, and nicely done.
Yeah, foosda is definitely gonna have to take some gambles here in order to catch up, because he doesn't. We don't want to see him go to Desert Palace. We don't want to see him go. Well, he could head to Pod to get silver arrows, but yeah, this will definitely be interesting to see where he decides to go now.
He could take the ultimate chance on Maya. That would, because Maya is Green Pendant. Or he can take the ultimate chance and go up here. Okay.
Again, there's a bunch of things he hasn't checked up here. He hasn't checked Spike Cave. He hasn't checked Ether Pedestal. No, he's saying, screw all that stuff. We're going straight to Turtle Rock.
That would be interesting if I saw this in Spike Cave. I don't believe Andy had the chance to go there before either because of not having cape at the time. So
yeah, neither player has gone to Spike Cave. So and basement in Tower of Hera. So
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
because Andy didn't go back for that either, did he?
Nope. So this is something.
I mean, we've seen the tiebreaker, one of the tiebreaker races come down to that basement. There was one exceptionally important item there that basically just won the race by tens of minutes. So obviously not going to be the case this time, but yeah, as far as the time duration. But it might end up being the deciding factor here.
Well, and the interesting thing is there's 5 items in Turtle Rock, plus Mimic Cave. So take that into consideration. You got 6 items there. When you're gambling, you might as well go all in.
Yes, you basically go, I'm in or fold in that, and you do not want to fold at this stage. So if you're gonna go for it, you need to really go for it. And I do applaud foosda for committing this here. Because I have a feeling Andy's probably going to do Misery Maya first. If he is going to go that way. He might have remembered an item that he didn't get, which is the Magic Bat, right?
Yeah, he had not done Magic Bat yet, that is correct. So Andy's looking for everything but going into Turtle Rock without it looks like.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I'm a naturally risk-averse player when it comes to these things, but that is normally how I would play it as well, is I would want to be checking everywhere but where I actually need the item in order to get that. I don't know if you can hear the seagull out there, but the seagull has opinions on this as well, apparently.
Ooh.
Oh, well, Tempered Sword again, which is actually just a Master Sword, because we've already seen that. This is not progressive swords, so...
Yeah, it's unfortunately... Oh, it looks like Andy's heading up here. Is he's also not checking Spike Cave!
Oh boy!
Oh, goodness, we are seeing them both go into Turtle Rock. Will they find the key to defeating Trinex? I'm totally gonna save that and pretend that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Well, they sure did find the big key at the very least in the Chain Shot room, so there is that. This would be great if they already had the Ice Rod. This is very interesting because now they I mean, Andy is technically slightly behind here if the Ice Rod actually does show, but taking the smarter approach here, actually kind of not sure why he's gone this way around. I'd have thought this would have been
Oh, he's checking the Tower of Hera basement!
So this is interesting. Why do you think he went that way around the mountain then?
It might have been quicker than mirroring, and I'm not particularly sure. He might have forgot and then remembered halfway up. Oh yeah, that's right. I have this. I have to go check.
Yeah, that's possible. Oh, missing this. Yeah, done goofed, son. So yeah, this is the coffee break room, also known as Kenny or OK Guy's favorite room of the game. So just grab yourself a bit of invincibility by standing on one of the blocks here. I swear as a kid I always thought that was damaging me at the time when I was on those blocks. I have no idea why, but I always thought that I was actually taking damage over time with that. You know, the same as if you were standing on spikes or whatever. But no, just become invincible.
Alright, so moment of truth. Was it Hera basement? Nope.
Nope. I think that's all.
No, but Spike, he still can check Spike Cave.
Yes, he can.
And it looks like we're gonna see what Mimic Cave is here. So, oh man, this is all coming down to the Ice Rod. Where are you, Ice Rod?
2 caves checking at the same time here. So you don't actually need to use arrows to kill those guys. You can use bombs, but they take about 4 bombs per thing, so...
Oh no, not Mimic Cave.
Okay, we still have a chance for Andy here then. He's gonna grab the health first, pretty smart.
Probably spin speed. Oh!
The validation arrow!
The single arrow!
The validation arrow in the Spike Cave. Oh man, so it's either in Misery Mire itself, or I mean Sasha could have it. Shahabadu, if you want to call him that. Or it could still be in Turtle Rock. We haven't got to the Eye Bridge yet.
Yeah, they do have the mirror shield, so
it's gonna make it nice and easy for sure.
Yep.
Oh man, I've had some history with this bridge.
Oh?
I've had to do this bridge in one-hit KO mode without the cape and without the mirror shield or anything to deal with it, and that is not fun.
Gotta time those hook shot invincibility frames perfectly.
I mean, you can use the dash with the Pegasus boots to actually to get it as well, but you've got to be really precise on the positioning then. I think I took about 10 deaths before I got all the items on here, but one of them was a clock, so I didn't have to do Trinex in one-hit KO mode. Oh, just 50. Not good there.
Oh, 20.
Oh, that's not good either.
He needs a key too. Oh no!
Oh no, it's not here.
Yeah, this is a key. This has to be.
Huh? But Andy's taking exactly the same risk here.
Oh, yep. That's it here.
Okay, so do you think it's in Misery Mire itself, or do you think we have to kill Vitreous first?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of any overworld locations that they haven't done, but I am.
No, but between the two of them, I think they've checked everything.
Yeah, you know what? Misery Mire is green, so foosda, go to Misery Mire.
So what on earth is this?
Oh, wow!
Yep.
He's going in.
So this is smart because he hasn't done Desert Palace yet either. So he got the second time out, he got the shovel, but he hasn't done Desert Palace either. So he might be thinking he'd probably do Desert Palace first, but he might be thinking, yeah, I can do both of these now. It's smart for him to do, even though it is going to cost him time, it's smart for him to do Desert Palace first because it's the faster dungeon. If Ice Rod ends up being here, then you can immediately go. Unfortunately, I believe Landmole actually had an item as well, so he's going to be in quite a while, and that's going to give Andy time to fully check this dungeon.
Yeah, so they'll both be probably going into Misery Mire to check that stuff. And it's interesting that foosda is going into these dungeons without checking a lot of the overworld stuff that he's missed, so...
Yeah, he seems to be definitely a dungeon-happy person compared to... I mean, I've been burned by that too much recently, of going into overworld stuff too heavily. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, he definitely seems to be more of a dungeon person with that. There's the chain chomp blocking Andy's second shot there.
Andy got chomp blocked.
Christos does a really interesting strat in that room where he uses a block dash with the Cane of Samaria to basically just punt the block all the way across there and get to the crystal switch. You know, basically use that to hit the crystal switch twice whilst he stands on the block. So he gets the invincibility frames whilst he's pushing the block to make the chest appear, but yeah, he ends up just hitting it twice, which is pretty cool. foosda being denied by the fairy. Oh dear.
Fairy tease.
Your senpai won't notice you. Yeah, so now he's thinking, what on earth do I still have here? Oh, not actually gonna check the landmines going into Mire itself here then, huh? That's... yeah, I think maybe he noticed. Did he notice he picked up 2 items, I wonder?
I think what he was more interested in... actually, I'm curious where he's going. He's checked everything else.
I thought Quake or something was at the landmines, right? So... maybe, so I'm sure there was the second item there.
No, he's going back in. I don't think that he got 2 items. I think that he was looking to see what pendant it was. I think he might have thought it was the green pendant.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible, yeah. Because I don't reckon he got too ahead of himself there and thinking, oh, I just got both items at the start. That always happens. I don't think that was the case here. So Andy doing exactly the same strat that foosda did, actually, to make the mimics on the right-hand side go into the gaps that you can slash them with.
Yeah,
it's funny just how many things that they've done the same in this, isn't it? Especially the boss kills like Argus with the fire rod and the moth kills between the two. They've done a lot of the same things here, and that's really cool.
Yeah. And neither of them actually have found the butter sword yet either, with all the places that they've checked. We might see a G-Tower butter sword.
It's got to be the validation chest then at that point. Oops, too early on the spin attack there. I ran out of magic too. Not the end of the world though, it only takes 2 spin attacks to kill these guys or 1 fire rod hit that each of them was already obtained. Yeah, it was Quake that was at these guys. I remember sometimes. So, yeah, I guess it is. I mean, foosda hasn't done Palace of Darkness yet, so there's always the question with that. But I think because he made the choice to go here first, he is probably just going to do Misery Mire whilst he's here.
Yeah, he's got to take a big gamble here.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
No!
Don't do it! No! No! He's going to double-chested fairy, probably. Actually, he's going... Nope. He might be going to catfish, because I don't believe he had gone there yet.
He hasn't gone catfish, no.
Yeah, so that, like I said, it was interesting that he decided to do all these dungeons before doing overworld stuff. So it looks like he's decided at this point, right when he was on the verge.
Now he's second. Well, is he second guessing? I think. Oh yeah, he is a little bit. Now he's second guessing himself, going, "Wait, maybe I shouldn't have done all of this overworld stuff here." Meanwhile, Andy's chatting like everything, so he knows exactly what he.
Yeah, Andy knows he needs to go to Misery Mire. Yeah. So it'll all be. How deep in Misery Mire is this ice rod?
I'm still hoping it's at Sasha, because what a start this would be for the bracket stage to have ice rod at Sahashrali.
Bob Chess has nice rod. Yeah, so this will be interesting. I'm really curious on how deep in here this rod is gonna be.
It's always interesting when you see some of these sorts of things where the items are crazy hard to end up finding, or they take forever just because of placement and whatnot. And then you end up seeing, well, one person who, the underdog, potentially, actually has a chance to make the big place and actually has a chance to super pull ahead, but then doesn't because they haven't checked a whole bunch of other stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting seeing whether or not they take that chance. Sometimes people do, sometimes they don't.
So it looks like foosda's going back to check Bombos because he had not had the book when he came here the first time. A little bit out of the way. But he has to check all these locations that he hadn't checked before. So,
of course, I say underdog when Andy is technically the lowest seed here, so but that's not really the point. But yeah, you've got to go back and check all the places that you didn't check before, and then it's just it's a whole lot of time lost. But if those items weren't, if those locations weren't needed to be checked in the first place, then this sort of routing would look like genius-like, wouldn't it? Because you didn't have to check a whole bunch of slow areas.
Oh, there's 10 arrows in Misery Mire, so that's item number 1.
Is that both of the... I forget. I thought I saw a blue rupee, but I think we've seen too many. So I'm probably just getting confused with engines here. That's the big key. Not in its predefined location, as it is in every single seat ever, so
Well, that's item 2, so that's what chat is saying. So blue rupee and...
So it has to be at Sasha then, is it?
Unless there's a location that we both are missing, I think that it is gotta be at Sahashrali's hut. So it looks like Andy's still checking chests. He's got the big key. So I don't know if he's not item counting or if he just is like, no, it has to be here.
So as a fun little aside, when I say the big key is not at its predetermined location as it is in every seat, is because like 90 to 95% of the seats that I play have the big key in either its usual chest or in the torch room, the torch one above, basically to the left here. that is where it is in almost every single seed I ever play. So even though most people go right after they hit that crystal switch and do the foyer area, I always go left, and I almost always find the big key over there, just because that just is how it is whenever I have a seed. So, But I know it's technically faster if you don't need to do that, because again, that torch room takes forever to go through. So foosda, I guess, is going to be doing Spike Cave, Hera Basement, and he's going to be getting himself his vanilla ether.
Yep.
Vanilla ice, I suppose you could call it. It's always satisfying when you don't have to do these rooms in the dark. Like, sure, it's great that you can do it, but it's so satisfying when you just have that lamp and go, well, I can just super speed through this dungeon. So, foosda's going to check the Spike Cave before going into basement, looks like.
Yeah, I don't blame him. The basement is definitely my last resort as well.
Yeah, the problem is, though, you've now got to get out of here afterwards, which does take up a fair bit of time. You've got to get out of here, and then you've got to go back up the mountain after the validation hour. Or you can just save quit and go, I'm not checking that basement. He
might not remember that he hasn't checked it.
It is very possible. That was quite early in that he did that.
So Andy, making quick work of Vitrios, gets himself his dungeon map, or burrito, or toilet paper, depending upon what you want to call it.
depending on who you commentate with at the time. I mean, I guess this is Misery Buyer, right? So toilet paper wouldn't be too far out of the way.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah. So
now we get to go see what does Sahasrahla have? Is it the ice rod?
Yeah, they did check the pedestal. It was bomb capacity upgrade. Increased bomb storage at a low price. Unfortunately, neither player was bought on that particular advertising scheme. So
I mean, but Andy is more than welcome to go get it at the moment if he's really interested.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for a pretty good price.
You know, that was always so funny that making the joke at the start of Missy Gonna Pull, and there it is!
Ice Rod at Sriracha Sauce's house.
So, this is still gonna be a sub 2, looking at this. Unless there is some gigantic, messing up going on in GT from Andy, which I can't see happening. Andy's too good of a player for that. This is still going to be sub 2 on a seed where you had to go literally everywhere in order to find the ice rod here. That's actually really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for foosda, because if he would have just gone into Misery Mire there when he mirrored and checked, it might have been a completely different story. Now he's gonna be for sure an entire dungeon behind.
And so the thing is, the other problem with that is that if he had gone and gotten it, the green pendant being there means that with the way that he did the stuff, he could have then checked Sahasrahla, and if he still didn't have it, he could have gone straight to Palace of Darkness from there. It looks like he is going to take this chance, though. So, I mean, it's weird the way that the seed sort of played out. It's really hard to sort of work out, right, which one should I do first, stuff here. Because Green Pendant can be a game changer, but it only adds one more item, and it's an item you've got to navigate the world to get to as well, so it's kind of really out of the way. And Misery Mire is just that sort of dungeon where it takes ages for so small of a chance of things actually being there.
Yeah, and it looks like see, and another thing that you have to consider too is who you're up against, right? So foosda is going to be looking at the time right now and going, I'm surprised we haven't had a dot done yet.
Yeah,
because
it normally finishes like 20 minutes ago. What's going on here?
Yeah, so he knows that there's something suspicious because of the fact that Andy hasn't dot done yet. So he's now knowing that, and if he studied at all Andy's playstyle, that could take into consideration what his gambles are.
Yeah.
So that might be why he's in Misery Mire at the moment, because he could be saying, okay, if Andy normally checks this, and this first. Last place he would have checked would be Sriracha sauce, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can mind game yourself super heavily if you really look into that type of stuff too much, but there is, at this stage, going to be a little factoring in. Especially the whole, why hasn't this been done yet? There must have been something really massive gone wrong here, you know? Yeah, there was a blue rupee here. I wasn't mistaken with that before. Okay. Oh, the helmet's knocking over the
Troll mini Helmosaur there.
Oh, it happens to the best of us. So that's a neat little strat as well. There's a nice item dash there to get both of the flames to hit the respective crystal switches.
So now we're gonna get to see our first Trinex fight here. So we'll get to see Andy's rendition. He'll head up top. Oh, nice.
See, is it still possible to zero cycle with a tempered sword? Probably not with that.
No, unfortunately, not at the moment.
No, it takes 4 or 5 hits with the sword to actually take him out, and you need 2 hits of the rod as well. Copy in chat saying that was the true Helmosaur King right there. I'd believe it.
It's just interesting how there's basically one of those guys just hanging out in there.
Yeah, it's just like, sup, I'm a dude. I'm gonna just stay here. Get in the way.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other. Yeah, I don't think there's any other mini Helmosaurs in Turtle Rock. Just that one.
Just that one dude.
Like he went to pod. He's like, peace, I'm out.
Looks like Chad is already preempting us in terms of their guesses for where the big key is going to be here. I have a feeling it's going to be in the worst possible spot in this dungeon, just based on how the rest of this particular seat has gone. So I'm going to say it's in. Yeah, I'm going to say Tower Room.
I'm gonna guess number 7. I like that guess. It's my favorite.
It's a good number. So in most players' routes, that would put it at the end of the Stalfos Fireball room, right?
Yes, that is correct.
See, Willard let me in on his own trade secrets to this. He does something a bit different here. He goes and gets the key. Oh, nice butter. There we go. Not validation chest, but close enough. So Willard goes and gets the key. I believe he said he goes and gets the key from the other room. He gets the item on the Bob torch here, and then he does right side himself when he gets the key from the other thing. That's not the normal strategy, but it is definitely an interesting sort of take on things there, and sometimes it really pays out when you get that one seed that has the right-hand side be super required.
Minus the tile room, right side actually isn't that long. There's not a lot of items over there, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the rooms are just incredibly annoying to go through. Absolutely. Like that one room with the breaking bridge and the fire bar in the middle of it is just like, if you don't have the cape, it's like, oh my god, nope. This room is the worst. So no dice at the moment as far as the item stuff goes here. Going to see some sweet looking boomerang strats here. So this is something I should probably incorporate as well, is the because I normally just use King of Samaria here because, well, the scrub tier, obviously, and you know, just using the default strats of that, but using the boomerang going into the hookshot there is really elegant. It's a very nice method for going through there. Obviously, something you have in no major glitches too, so it's a well practiced route for this stage.
Alright, so foosda is going to be picking up his green pendant, which is going to lead him to Sahashala, which is going to give him the ice rod, finally.
Yeah,
he's going to be very happy to see that.
So the question for foosda then, is he going to do Palace of Darkness before turning in the pendant? Clearly we don't want him to, but is he going to do that?
I don't think so. I think he went to Misery Mire with the full intention of getting the green pendant.
I hope so. I've just seen too many players do that, where they end up not getting, not using the pendant until the very end of the stuff there. I mean, maybe he goes into the Dark World and then mirrors near Sasha and goes from there. Because that way, if Sahashala doesn't have it, then no, not Bob. Oh, I guess we've got other Bob over there, so it kind of works. Yeah,
nothing
maybe
will ever replace Bob.
Maybe he will do it that. Oh no, I guess he is just going to turn it in. So yeah, as far as efficiency goes, you may consider that where you go into the Dark World, you start going through the hedge maze stuff, but then when you're near Sahashala's place, you mirror out, get the pendant, and then go from, do the pendant stuff and go from there. Oh, the blue rupee ruined it. One of those things was not like the others, and it was not worth nearly as much. That is a healthy dose of finances that Andy has got, though. Sheesh.
And foosda finally gets himself the ice rod and is heading back up to Turtle Rock. So, we might also see him take a right side gamble. Maybe. Seeing if
I feel like he probably has to, unless Andy finishes before, which I don't think is possible from here. Because of the fact of Turtle Rock's already been half completed, I don't think... Oh, Andy's got to be careful with the time, though. Oh, just through. Okay.
He did not get denied.
I've seen it before where people have just bonked off of that because of thing. Nice run around the Gibdo, too. Very good.
Yeah, and Andy also, neither player knows where the other one is, so...
The safety fairy! Oh, there it is.
There we go. Big key.
Yes, magic powder to get to the start of the dungeon, that was. With 2 keys already as well, and the items necessary for stuff, there's no reason for Andy to actually go ahead and open that last chest there. I don't blame him, especially given that we're an hour and 51 minutes into this race. I do not blame him in the slightest for not, taking any chances here. Interesting to see just a standard play through this room as well. I mean, with the mirror shield, you can kind of, I guess, OK Guy, I think, is the one who does the strats that way, where you can go sort of super aggro into that room and just, face tank the fireball because the mirror shield blocks it. So you end up just running through that room rather than doing it that way when you've got both silvers and the mirror shield. Nice dash there, not getting hit. Always find it's really weird on the timing, that one. So just running the silver arrows into the guys here.
Yeah, and that's actually another thing. foosda did not pick up silver arrows because he did not go into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, so even if he wasn't behind already, that's, I believe people were saying it's about a 45-second difference from the chat earlier. I have a feeling it could often be slightly more than that. Depends on how good your silver arrow hits are. Yep, and then fire rod for here. This is something I've been telling people to do for ages, is a fire rod just kills that mini Stalfos even if you don't directly hit him, so long as you're going left slightly when you enter that room. And then you can use the crazy momentum of ice to just go by and swing on the dude. Even if you don't use Fire Rod in any of the other hits. Nice triple silver, by the way. Even if you don't use the ice rod, getting confused stuff now. Even if you don't use the Fire Rod on any of the other bits there, that one Stalfos is worth killing fire rod just to trivialize that room.
Yeah, chasing a Stalfos around the room is the least fun thing in the tower.
Or chasing that one blue guy in the third room that tends to go all the way up the top somehow and always messes everything up for you. Oh, just getting the dash there. Nice job, foosda. Oops. Maybe that's how the firebar was created in the first place, but that isn't going to help you light the torch there, Andy.
Andy throwing his fire rod around there.
That is one way of putting it, yes. Sorry, try and keep it a bit higher class normally, but sometimes when the opportunity presents itself that well.
Very good quick kill on the 2 extra heads there. Just gotta kill Trinex here, and then he'll be able to head to G Tower. And it'll be, like I said, interesting to see whether or not foosda decides to...
Oh, no, he failed!
No!
Wrong answer. I don't think he... Oh, no, he's going for it again anyway.
But no validation chest.
I think the swag.
I think so too.
I see you in the chat there. Keep trying and failing for about 7 more minutes. Maybe then fisticuffs. That's cool, but also kind of true.
Yeah, but again, this is just another good race to show that taking risks sometimes would pay off. If foosda would have gone into and taken the ultimate gamble for
we're gonna see the double, triple, not quite because he missed at the end. Dang it, Andy ruined it. You're about to. Then he doesn't get any in the third phase anyway. This is what you get for not validation chest. You get bad Dagenham RNG. That's just how it goes. That's the excuse I always used to give on my stream for it, is that I'm opening this chest just to get good Dagenham RNG. Whether or not it actually works is another entirely. But... So this GT is kind of weird because there's no small key in the first sort of 3 or 4 items here, so there's not really any way that foosda is going to go right side. Like, if there was a small key in one of those 2 chests, or at least on the torch there, maybe there'd be a reason to do that. Not so much in this case, because there's just nothing, you know? You're not getting any small keys to get across there, and you don't want to wait in the tower room for one.
Yeah,
which you might not even get. So sadly, he is going to go all the way around this anyway. There's a fantastic dash stuff here. Like, this is always fun to watch as well. Notice how he's still got the bombs out, actually. If you see, because of the hover and stuff, Andy still got the bombs out from when he blew up the wall at the top of GT. Like, that is the extent of how little he's menued. The dash doesn't do more damage, no, but it can let you do more damage more quickly, just because there's no knockback off it. Interesting that you didn't just go straight for the silver shot there. Wonder if there's a logic behind that.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sure. There we go.
There's the double. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And honestly, that Ganon fight was great. Excellent movement, dancing around those fire bats, made really quick work of him. That was very well done. Andy finishing with a first place time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 43 seconds on SRL.
What a seed to begin the brackets with. That is all I can really say about this. Sahasrahla required is almost as good as the pedestal, but in some ways so much better, because in the end Andy did all of the other color dungeons first before doing green. He effectively got the pedestal requirement in the end. Oh man, what a seed.
Yeah, it's still amazing. Just sub 2 with all dungeons.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this would be a 2 hour 15 seed for most players, no doubt, at the earliest here. But yeah, there's no doubt about what happened here. This is why these guys are at the top. The sub 2, even with these conditions, it's really, really strong.
Yeah, it's been an excellent first race of the brackets here.
As I'm just seeing in the race chat, Andy's comment there, it's like, GD, this game sucks. Andy, how are you doing?
Congratulations, Andy.
I hate this game.
Yeah, I was thinking that there. Oh man, like,
So
what can you even say?
So Hyrule Ice Rod, probably the worst thing you could be looking for at the end of the game.
I can't even be mad because all the decisions, my routing was really good the entire race, and all the decisions were really good, and the game was just like, nah.
No, you don't get to have a good time today. This isn't your time for that. No, I agree. You definitely played fantastic route for this, and a lot of. But you and foosda had a lot of really cool boss kills and such as well, which I know we should probably be expecting a lot more in the brackets here. But yeah, a lot of good ones, especially Argus and Moth were that way. So fantastic seeing that. But yeah. Having to go all the way around the world for that. Oh, man.
I don't know. I was thinking, like, all I had left by the time I finished Ice and got my 6th crystal was Palace of Darkness, which has 4 things, Mire, which has 3,
yeah, because
two overworld things, just 2.
Yeah. And they were really far out of the way as well. They weren't even nearby overworld
and
things.
Turtle which has 6 because of the ROM hack room. So I was like, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna do Pod. I'm gonna check the overworld things, and then do Turtle Rock because Mire is the worst place to check out of all of these.
Oh yes, I agree with that completely. foosda in the end did do the gamble on T-Rock earlier, but obviously that didn't pay out, so no problem with that. But he hadn't done Desert Palace at that point, so he went down towards that, and I was thinking, oh, he's going to do Desert and then just do Maya whilst he's there because it's green, right? And then Palace of Darkness on the way back because to where Sahashala is. Didn't end up doing that, but, you know, would have been kind of useful in this seed. But, yeah, he... Like, the ruling decision stuff is always interesting to see, and there was definitely a bit of difference there, but I would have gone with the way that you'd done stuff as well. So this would have probably been like a 2-hour, 15-minute seed for me. So, you know, absolutely amazing to see sub 2 on a seed this sort of ridiculous.
I'm excited to see my chest count number, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you know, you've got so many of the locations. I mean, even GT could.
Even GT wasn't like, here, this seed sucks. Here, have a small key and a big key on the right side, 2 chests. It's like, no, it's gonna be in 20.
I will admit, I did kind of say that given the nature of the seed, it was going to be in tile room. I'm glad it wasn't quite that bad, but yeah, I thought it was going to be tile room just because of how awful the rest of this seed went. So,
and guys, make sure you get your bonk guesses in. Want to see those bonk guesses for Andy?
I'm also super mad that I didn't get a 2-cycle Aghanim too. I was like a pixel away.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I didn't mention anything on the first free hit, but when the second one lined up, I was thinking, oh god, that is perfect positioning for that. And then it was like, get it once, get it twice, and didn't get the last one.
and then to rub dirt in the wound.
Yeah, and then you just didn't.
I got owned by the 3rd phase.
Yeah. This after a missed hover as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although yesterday I literally got 0 hovers first try in all the randos I did, so I was happy with my hovers today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most of that was fantastic. It's always fun seeing the ones in Ice Palace instead of going for the bomb jump stuff. Just immediately hovering in and just getting that room done in seconds. It's always good to see.
Yeah. I almost dropped the one above big key chest, which would have been bad.
Oh, okay.
I
my hand started notice that,
and I started going diagonal, and I'm like, oh god, but I barely made it. that's why I dropped Moldorn hard, because I accidentally started going diagonal. And
right, okay.
Because I started too far left, where if I had kept going diagonally, I wouldn't have actually touched the platform at all.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, but oh well. Man, 180 out of 216. Sorry for the score.
That is the highest I have seen in an awful long time. Like, even the seeds that I've been doing recently, where I've had to go basically everywhere, still ended up being 156 or something, that sort of number. 180 is absurd. That's literally 100% at this point.
I'm trying to think of the areas you did not get. And I just can't think.
I skipped 2 in Mire. I skipped like 4 in Ice because I got the 3 items really early.
Yeah, I did. There were a couple of times where I was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" Well, you probably already count the items because trying to go between the 2 players, you don't always end up thinking, "Oh, you've got every item in the dungeon." So I think it was the one that you need to hookshot across the spikes for. I was like, "Wait, what are you doing? Why are you skipping that?" I was thinking, "Oh, hang on, you've probably already got all the stuff here, so no big deal."
And then the miscellaneous stuff also counts, like the key pots in Mire, which there's like 2 of that you don't ever go to.
Okay, that actually does count for items in the dungeon then.
And then there was 6 chests missed in Ganon's Tower. That's probably pretty close to adding up to everything I missed. There's probably
far fewer than you want, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if you guys in chat haven't already done so, make sure to give the runners a follow. They've done an excellent race today. Today has been very exciting for both players. They both deserve some love, so show them some support, give them a follow.
Yeah, this seed has been rough to, even just watching the stuff here, this seed has been rough. I mean, when it comes to doing all of the crystal stuff and then only pendants remaining with just that one item that can be in any one of them, you always gotta, which one do I really want to do first here, sort of stuff, and that sort of decision can, of course, make or break the stuff, as we all know, but it's always, I guess, fascinating to see what the top players end up doing with stuff that way, and just seeing the differences between the 2 of you, it's always fun. Like, one person unfortunately has to come out on top on it, and could have been either of you though, with the way that it got played. Foosda did do some of the stuff earlier that may have paid off. They're not here. Do you got anything else you want to say with this, or is it just nuts to this game today?
I need a drink.
Yeah. How strong?
So I want to point out that Foosda did not grab the validation chest.
No, but
both runners not grabbing the validation chest.
Yeah, but these heroes got an excuse. I mean, I've said it before. The swag offsets the validation here. Come on. Foosda has just got Ganon to do here. He didn't go into Palace of Darkness at all, so no silver arrows here.
Nope. So
he didn't go in there at all?
Nope.
Wow.
I think the ending logic, so the way that I thought he was going to do stuff until he ended up doing the sections in between, was that because he hadn't yet done Desert Palace, he got the shovel after going there again, but he didn't go into Desert, so I was thinking, he's probably going to do Desert and then just mirror do Mire because it's green pendant, and with Palace of Darkness being the other pendant, you can check Sahashala on the way past. But he didn't end up doing that in quite the order I thought he was going to, so, But I think that was the logic. Maybe ask him when he gets in here. Got time. Although I think the next race is starting up, so we might not have time to interview Foosda here. Firebat causing trouble.
Yeah, I know they're setting up.
Yeah. So
1 heart. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's okay at this phase, but it is still scary because any random hit off of that. But I believe there was a fairy in a bottle somewhere within GT, right? That was in the way. So there should be a fairy involved in this fight as well. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem.
And he's making quick
he's
work.
Done.
Yep.
So when do you think the next race of this set is going to get played? Have you guys got any sort of plans for that, or?
We talked about maybe doing it after this one, but I don't think either of us want to play again after that.
No, I don't blame you.
I think tomorrow, maybe around the same time. I'm not entirely sure.
That'd be pretty neat. There's
One
an official official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 48 seconds, according to the race chat. Even that is a fantastic time for a seed like this, because you've got to go all over the place to get stuff, and the last possible spot, basically, is there. I mean, it's always hard thinking when do you go to Turtle Rock with these things, because so many times with that Ice Rod, you end up finding it on the Eye Bridge or in Mimic Cave or something when it's in this type of place, so, you know, I don't blame anybody for going T-Rock earlier with this. And how fitting is that? Salt Cellar's Homecoming. I didn't even see that the first time. How fitting is that for this seed? the random name chosen for Sahashala is Salt Cellar. That pretty much completely sums up the feelings right now. Right, so...
Yeah, and it looks like we have our commentators joining us for the next race, so I want to say congratulations, Andy, on your victory today. Can't wait to see more of your races. So
hopefully pick a better seed next time, I mean.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want to see all the troll seeds, so...
No!
I'm pretty sure I mean, there's a reason I'm the 18 seed.
Yeah, right? Anyway, best of luck with your next race, and I'll sign out as well. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Enjoy the next one between Eunice and Terra. And I've been Gamer Cal.
And I'm Sakura, and thank you guys so much for watching again. Make sure you give the runners a follow, and I look forward to hearing the next race.
Take care, guys.